guys, hope you're going well today. So we're doing another top 5 countdown list. You know how into these lists I've been getting. Kind of getting obsessed with it, but it is so much fun doing them and I'm glad that you're enjoying watching them. So today's list is going to be in collaboration with Nicole here on YouTube. Her channel name is Nics&Nacs. She's a fellow Australian. Seriously, go check out her channel. She does awesome movie reviews, she does television show recaps, trailer reactions, and she also knows what she's talking about when it comes to books. She gets to read a lot and has great taste in books. So it's no surprise that for today's countdown list we decided to incorporate books and literature. We're doing a top 5 book to movie adaptations list. My rule for this list straight up has to be that I have read the book and seen the movie. So instantly we are wiping off the table an array of literary masterpieces, which is kind of a shame that I'm not up to date on my reading. My bad. But let's just jump into the list and see what we've got. For number 5, it's The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now this book was published in the 20s and for me it just really encapsulates the roaring 20s, that incredibly fun, glitzy, glamorous jazz age. This book is so clever because it deals with so many human complexities and issues, like wanting to start over and have a new beginning, whether or not people can change. It also looks broadly about class divisions and the American dream, and all of this is wrapped under the guise of a love story. I just think it's just so subtly done and beautifully written. Now the movie I'm referring to is the movie from 1974 with Robert Redford and Mia Farrow. Sam Waterston, the Law and Order guy, there's what he will forever be known as to me, and Bruce Dern. The movie, I can't recall who it's directed by, but the screenplay was written by Francis Ford Coppola, and the movie is just breathtaking. For me, I felt like the movie was a very true imagining of the novel. Of course, every movie needs to take liberties because novels take how long to read and movies take, you know, only an hour and a half to watch. Robert Redford is just dreamy in this movie. He is so naive in this really tragic way. Number 4 is Atonement, written by Ian McEwan in 2001. This is a drama, it's a period piece, it's a romance set in the backdrop of World War I, I believe. It's a theme that is essentially quite simple, but it is so universal, and it's something that I hadn't really considered or thought about until it was told so beautifully in this story, and that is the theme of wanting to atone for a wrong. The story is narrated by a young girl, and what happens is that she tells a lie as a child who's kind of angry with a bit of a grudge. It's like a petty child grudge, and she tells a lie, and how that lie escalates and ends up destroying somebody's life, even though that's not what she intended the lie to do. It was adapted in 2007 by director Joe Wright, and it starred Keira Knightley and the beautiful James McAvoy, and I just really loved the movie adaptation of this story because it had a completely different feeling from the original book, yet it still maintained the power of that theme, and I just thought they captured the theme well, even though it had a different kind of almost approach to telling the exact same story. In the novel, a lot of everything takes place in the narrator's head, so it's very detailed and like lush, poetic, like Charles Dickens type thinking as she's processing everything that she sees and every like little thing she's thinking, so it's very internal. Whereas in the movie version of it, you know, you can't really get up inside someone's head. So to combat that, there is some voiceover narration. But the other way that they've tried to deal with all that reflectiveness is by having like very long pauses and like sparse dialogue at times. So you've just got time to sort of sit in the moment, in the scene, and like sort of ponder and reflect. I really love this story. I think it's got such an interesting message to it, and while the book and the movie were kind of different, they achieved the same goal for me. Number 3 is Lolita, written in the 50s by Vladimir Nabokov. This book, this film is extremely controversial, and when it came out, of course, it kicked up a huge storm because it follows this literary professor in his late 30s who develops an infatuation which turns into a sexual relationship with a young 12-year-old girl. Firstly, in the book she's 12, but in the movie adaptation by Stanley Kubrick, she's older than that. I don't know if they say exactly how old she is, but she's certainly like a teenager. Like, she looks like she must be at least like 16 in the movie, so I'm sure that they had to do that to get it through and get it actually made. Because the relationship between the man and the young girl is 100% one-sided. She's not really interested in him whatsoever, and it's all through him, our protagonist. He is the one who develops the infatuation, the obsession, and how he manages to manipulate her. And ultimately, while it might seem on the surface to be kind of consensual, it's nothing, it's absolutely child abuse. The main difficulty that they weren't able to capture in the movie adaptation would have to be the language, which is always what the book is going to win out over a movie. But in this book, Lolita especially, our main character is a literary professor. So the way he speaks, the way he articulates his thoughts is very eloquent and rich, because obviously he's a literary academic, and that is something that you're never going to be able to truly represent in the movie adaptation. Still, Lolita, it's right up there. I think it's a Kubrick masterpiece, as pretty much all of Kubrick's films. Number 2 is Into the Wild. It was written in '96 by John Krakauer, and this is my only non-fiction pick for this list. About a traveler, a young guy, McCandles was his name, who just kind of abandoned the modern world and decided to go trekking off in the wilderness. He just wanted to leave all the trappings of modernity behind him and just took himself and the bare necessities and trekked up through to Alaska. So it was adapted into a movie by Sean Penn, and the lead was played by Emile Hirsch. And the movie is just absolutely astounding. In fact, this is the only pick from my list where I prefer the movie over the book. What the movie does and says is just so wonderful, and Emile Hirsch's performance is so totally amazing. There is one thing to note, and that is from the movie to the book. In the movie, the main character, McCandles, he does develop relationships. He has previous relationships, and he meets people along the way through his journey, and in the original book some of those relationships weren't quite how they were told in the movie. So the movie did take liberties in order to follow movie conventions and make you feel and see exactly what this guy is leaving behind, and the friendships that he makes and that he has to turn his back on in order to live like this solitary life. But I think that's totally expected for a movie to be able to do that. I mean, it is a fictional movie, it's not by any means a documentary. We are coming to the end of my list, and I have to be honest, I did want to avoid picking this as number 1, but I was thinking and thinking, and there is just no other title that I could have in place of this title as number 1 and be okay. J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I'm sure you guys guessed that that's what I was going to say. This trilogy, this book just is so incredible. The book and the movie. For me, especially when the first movie came out in 2001, I was young and impressionable, and I saw the first movie before reading the books. So I saw the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, and I was so taken by the world, by the scenery, by the vision of that movie, that it encouraged me to go and read the books, because how they structured the movies is they were releasing them 12 months apart, the first, second and third movie. So after falling in love with the first movie and knowing that I had to wait 12 months in order to see the second movie, in order to sedate myself, I went and read the entire trilogy, so I felt a little bit better about waiting a whole year. By the time I saw the second movie, I had read all the books and I knew, you know, the whole world, and I loved it even more. It kind of strengthened my love for it. Peter Jackson, the director of the Lord of the Rings movies, just really stayed so true Of course, it's a movie, it's an adaptation, it's an interpretation, a reimagining. It's never going to be 100% accurate, nor should it be, because not always can they translate directly, right? It's not a play, it is a fictional work. I feel like I could talk about Lord of the Rings and what it means to me for like ever and ever and ever, but suffice to say that this is one of the few times, because of the way that they structured the release dates of the movies, because it's in 3 parts, it's the only time that I've been able to see the first installment of the movie, go and read the books, and then come back to the movie and just like have them both mesh so nicely together. I have no words. Guys, they were my top 5 book to movie adaptations. Make sure you go check out Nicole and her channel Nics&Nacs. I will leave a link in the description box down below. She's also picked a top 5 really awesome list and some great books and movies in there. In fact, there is a couple in her list that I haven't read, but I have seen the movie, so now I'm gonna have to go back and get the book for sure. Don't forget to leave me what your ultimate book to movie adaptation is in the comment section down below. Don't forget the rule, you have to have read the book and seen the movie. No cheating. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my movie reviews, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye!